So, all right, so here's a skill. You have that song that you'll play, but you'll have something queued up just in case this song doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like maybe something you've been feeling all week, like I'm gonna drop this, I'm gonna see what the crowd does. But just in case they're not feeling me, I got Beyonce queued up and I just echo this out and bring Beyonce if it doesn't work. It's all the same formula. People love music. People love to sing their favorite songs. People love freestyle. People love hip hop.
Oh man, it's like, where do I start with?
It's a lot.
Can you share a memorable or challenging experience from a live performance, and how did it impact your approach to DJing?
Oh man, it's too many. A personal experience, like when I was partying, or like I was at a party, or
Yeah, you were the DJ at the party.
oh, I was the DJ. When I really figured out, like we did a show back in the day called Freestyle Sunday, and it was a show that like nobody believed in. I remember the venues that wouldn't let us do it there because they were like, nobody's coming to an event on a Sunday in Huntsville. We don't have freestylers. And we ended up running that show for almost 2 years, doing a packed house, nonstop with some guys that I would take on the road to battle anybody, anywhere. R.I.P. Assassin and R.I.P. my man K.O. But it was like lightning had struck in a bottle for us, but I noticed how powerful our culture was at that point. No matter where you were, up north, down south, East Coast, West Coast, South Africa, Brazil, it's all the same culture. There's all a joy that people get out of music. There's a joy that people get out of competing in music. And once you kind of figure that out and you figure out, once I figured out with my team how to bring that to the masses, that changed everything. That's the pattern for everything that I do to this day. I don't care if you see me in a tux with a bow tie or at Mixed Madness, it's all the same formula. People love music. People love to sing their favorite songs. People love freestyle. People love hip hop. But once we figured that out like 20 years ago, it's been the same blueprint ever since. And even though I'm from New York, I came all the way to Huntsville to learn that. So I think that answers your question. I hope it does.
Say it one more time.
Can you share a memorable or challenging experience from a live performance, and how did it impact your approach to DJing?
Oh man, it's like, where do I start with?
It's a lot, right?
Yeah, like it's funny is like PT said one thing, every time you go to a new level, you're starting from scratch all over again. Mm-hmm. And I think the biggest thing is, I think one of the bigger things is understanding, no matter where you go, that people really don't know who you are. And until you really stand out, they treat you like everyone else. If it goes to certain examples, just different examples, experiences, I would say like going to certain crowds and listening to the people that pay you more than the crowd itself. That's something I had to learn from. These are things, end up being contractual things later on as your career goes. But recent experience, this was funny. Amazon did, what was it? They had some representatives for Amazon that helped sponsor Magic City Classic. Last year they did an event, they had a DJ, the DJ played the whole game. It was a great time, people had a good time. This year they were in a different room. Different ticket buyers are in this space. So we're out in the press box and they tell me, we're gonna run it back like they did last year, play the whole time. Second that game was about to start, the old heads came up to me, you about to play the whole game? Yes, sir, that's what I was paid to do. No, you ain't. We want to see the game. We want to hear the bands. How do you navigate that? You know what I'm saying? Like, these are experiences where sometimes you end up being in a tight spot. A lot of DJs, they want to be the good guy everywhere they go. They want to be and eventually I did what the crowd wanted. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't necessarily what I was hired to do, but the employer understood, you know, this is the dynamic we're in right now. We need to adjust to that. But there's a lot of different like examples that make you look at the entire aspect differently. Pay is a huge thing. You know, when you're starting off, you want to get in front of those big crowds, but you know, you don't realize how many people will take advantage of you knowing how good you are just to get you that one thing you want. And then, you know, that blinds a lot of things later on. It stunts a lot of growth. I'm not sure. I'm sort of jumping all over the place, but yeah, I can go on and on about experiences that
They've shifted the way you think, right?
Yeah, they've shifted everything. It's so many of them.
We're in a whole new space right now, just in how we deal with venues and the deals that we're doing.
Yeah, that's the new thing.
We
We talked about that offline before it started. Mm-hmm. You know, we do this successful show. We've had Mixed Madness since 2015. We moved to the camp for 3 years. We've done hundreds of people every other Tuesday. On a Tuesday, we've been doing this. And then we go to other venues, or, you know, we tell them what we're doing and we're trying to do a different kind of event here. And then, you know, it takes 2 weeks to hear something back. Or they look at us, they hear hip hop, and then they tune everything else out. You know, it's navigating through this it's been a...
But I think that's because now we're coming to them as a company that curates events as opposed to DJs. Because we come at them with something that we might not necessarily even be DJing that event.
Right.
But we bring them the event. So it's a little, I think sometimes they look at it and they go like, are y'all DJs? Or they don't have it really figured out. So it's not, you know, they don't understand it until the event's done and they make some great money. And then they're like, oh, okay, we get it now, you know. But, you know, 15 years ago, we weren't doing that in Huntsville. It just, we didn't have that many venues we could go to. People would say, no, that's just, it, you know, it is what it is. But now...
And even the people, not enough people to really do enough creative stuff.
Right.
And, you know, that's changing now. Shoot, we even have struggles with other DJs. Putting the DJs together and having us in this community that we have now was not a simple thing to do.
That was another step up, though. You know?
That was a struggle. Like, if people were in that group chat for the first few days, it was a nonstop argument for like 3 or 4 days in that group chat.
For months.
Yeah, But
these are those new things that change. You know, your experience changes, and you try to. I think that's why we get along. Is we have experience, but then we try to change what's going on. We don't sit and say, all right, we got this, let's keep it this way. We're constantly changing things based on our experience with other business owners, venues, other promoters, other DJs, to try to elevate the culture as a whole, you know? So, but there's a lot of experience. Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your man, DJ CO.
Can you describe your creative process when putting together a DJ set or mix? And how do you choose the tracks you include?
It depends on the event. And then I start, you know, searching music depending on that event. So let's say like this summer I did an event where I knew it was going to be a very diverse crowd. I'll go through top 40 lists for the last couple of years and pull off stuff from every genre and put that on the list. But then if I know I'm doing, like we did a silent party for the rooftop, and my assignment for the silent party was to be the old school DJ. I'm gonna go through my old school list. I'm gonna pull out some stuff that I make sure I wanna play. Like I might say, it's been a while since I played some Stevie Wonder, so I'll make sure to throw that in there. I'll make sure I play some Al Green. And I'll put together a playlist just for that event. And then I might call one of my DJ partners and be like, yo, send me your playlist of all your old school funk. And I'll go through one of their playlists and pull out stuff that I didn't think about. We do a lot of that. We do a lot of sharing in our DJ group. So I always use that to my advantage. I started doing R&B Vibes Live about a month ago. I hadn't DJed R&B in a long, like just straight R&B in a long time. So I hit my boy up. He sent me a nice playlist of all the R&B for the last 10 years. So we share, I research, I look stuff up. TikTok never fails anymore. You go there, see what's popular, you know, but you do take the time to research that stuff. And, you know, that takes hours, but that's why we charge what we charge.
How do you read and respond to the energy of the crowd during a performance? And what techniques do you use to keep them engaged?
Ooh. So this is where I take a lot of notes, especially starting off, growing from other DJs. There's certain parties you go to and that DJ just sort of stands out. He just does stuff that just makes you you just never forget. There used to be this sort of thing, this way that you do every party. And for, I might start it off with older music, just until people get in and try to save the good music for later. That was real younger years. And then it evolved because I saw other DJs do something different. For instance, when I was fresh out of high school, I think Swerve was like 3 or 4 years old. But it was such a huge song at the time. That's a song that I definitely wouldn't play before midnight. But, then I saw Dre Smooth, the first time I ever saw him DJ. This was a club that's been gone years and years and years ago now. And then he played Swerve in the first hour of the party. And it did the party so well that it was like, dang, it just opened my mind up to a completely new way of doing stuff. Let me implement a couple of these newer songs or these hits early on, and it expanded and made it better. As far as reading the crowds, that just comes with experience. No party is the same. When people ask me about playlists, there's no such thing as a playlist. I don't go to a party and assume this is what the crowd is going to be. I profile everybody in there and get it going from that aspect, but I don't. I never know what I'm really going to play. At the right party, you could play the Barney song and it's going to ride when the DJ's doing their job, and then other parties, they're going to look at you like,
What was that?
What just happened here? I think for me, another part of that is understanding the identity. Like I said, I'm DJ your boy. I'm supposed to be childish. So I do childish things at parties that other DJs are very terrified to do, but becomes part of your identity. When people start seeing that for you, you get away with it more. So if a fight breaks out, I'll the DJ that plays a gospel song and then back that ass up right afterwards, because you know what I'm saying? The point of it is to kill the crowd, reset them, and then get them back in the dancing mood again, send them to whatever mood you want to. So it's a lot of psychology that goes into it too. It's reading the crowd is more than just looking at the people, oh, they're young, sexy red. It's I like to get you in a mood to where you forget about your favorite song. So that way when I play it, you go that much crazier. There's a lot of method to the madness there.
Repeat the question one more time. I know it's reading the crowd.
Yeah. So how do you read and respond to the energy of the crowd during a performance? And what techniques do you use to keep them engaged?
Gotcha. So, you said a lot. One of the things is you can read a crowd, but then as they get to know you, sometimes crowds almost know what to expect from you. So they know, they become knowledgeable of what you do. So they start to expect the unexpected. They know they're going to get blends that they don't necessarily hear anywhere else or something like that. My big thing, you read the crowd, if nobody's dancing, it's time to change. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty easy. We've all been there before. You try something that doesn't work and you're like, oh, okay, let me switch it up. But I think the thing too is I think you look at some of the DJs that are young that kind of get it. Instead of reading the crowd, let them know that you're the one that's going to tell them how to party. You know what I'm saying? Instead of me looking at, what is it that you might listen to? You might like, let me give you this. Let me give you this crate that I've been curating, that I put together in a certain way with these certain transitions. Transitions are big. Going from one song to another, especially when you're moving in between genres. But yeah, you as you become good at DJing, you read the crowd, but you also begin to understand how to give the crowd who you are as an artist, and they understand and they rock with it, and they may not get that from anybody anywhere else, but that's what makes it memorable, to your point.
Right.
So they go, man, I heard DJ your boy, he did a whole what did you do that time in Mixed Madness? The show tune set, whatever, something crazy
I did
that you
a
did.
set of all movie and TV soundtracks.
Yeah, you know, and that's, to me, that's a very your boy thing to do. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody's different, but you learn to teach the crowd almost what to expect. So no matter where they come from or who they are, they'll be like, oh, that's CO, he's DJing. We about to hear some different stuff. So, you know, but then at the same time, yeah, if you clear the dance floor, you better have that hit on deck that you know that you can go to and everything's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? So.
Awesome.
Definitely an abort button there.
Right. It doesn't work. So all right, so here's a skill. You have that song that you'll play, but you'll have something queued up just in case this song doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like maybe something you've been feeling all week. You're like, I'm gonna drop this, I'm gonna see what the crowd does. But just in case they're not feeling me, I got Beyonce queued up and I just echo this out and bring Beyonce if it doesn't work. I think if you're a smart DJ, you definitely have that skill worked out. So yeah.
What's going on, world? It's yours truly, DJ your boy.
In the digital age, how do you navigate the vast amount of music available to create a unique and engaging DJ set?
I don't think the digital age changes the vast amount as much as, you know, because, you know, it's always been so much music, and part of the hip hop, part of what hip hop is just finding the sounds that's from the random tracks that's been put in the crates for forever. Kanye West is a master of that. He is a true crate digger, because, you know, you go through and then, you know, with digital age, things are a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a simple word. But anyways, like in the digital age, you just get a lot more all in one. You get a lot of the same.
Accessible.
Yeah, in there. But, and you know, you can listen to music a lot easier now compared to having to pay the 99 cents from iTunes back in the day, or going even further and having to buy the album. Or, you know, wait on TV till TLS or TRL or something like that comes on, and, you know, waiting for your favorite music video. But as far as doing that, navigating it, like, you know, a lot of it is I can say easier accessible. When you type in a word, you get more of that sound. But to really get the good stuff, you really still have to dig. You gotta find the artists that are like them. You gotta, you know, Masego is a perfect example. You know, he's not an artist anybody talks about. He's not on any charts. He's not on any headlines, but he has this huge base because he has such a unique sound. And then you sort of just run into him. You don't necessarily find him, you know, you do find him, but like, he's not something that you just hear about, you know? So I think the spirit of it is still there. You still have to search. You still have to crate dig. You still have to find the sounds that people like. I think that, you know, the way hits are made has shifted a little bit more. Before, I mean, they still do the same thing. Record labels make a hit by repeating the same thing and putting it in everywhere at the same time. And, you know, that's a lot of ways how hits are created. I like how, you know, in the viral age, someone can become, you know, hits on their own now. They can have a hit song on their own, but there's a lot of give and go with that too. To go viral, it's almost like hitting the lottery. Everything has to be done in the right way at the right time for it to happen. There are a lot of people that go viral that just did the math right, whereas a lot of people with the good talent never go viral.
How did you first get into the DJing world, and what drew you to this form of artistic expression?
Was it on me first? I always wanted to be a DJ. I mean, growing up, you know, in the 80s and 90s, everybody did some part of the pillars of hip hop. You know, you break dance, you do graffiti, or you DJ and you did graffiti, or you rapped and you DJ'd. Well, I can't dance. I can freestyle a little bit, but I was always drawn to just what the DJ made the crowd do, how he was able to control it, he or she, make people react, And also, you gotta remember in the 80s, that's when the DJ was, I don't want to say the first part of hip hop, but it was the first part of hip hop. I mean, we were the ones that, you know, some people say that's where the term hip hop actually came from, what we were doing on the turntables. But being born in that era and wanting to have something to do with the culture, the thing that drew me to it the most was DJing. So every time I heard a scratch or something, I always used to wonder like how was he able to make the turntables make that sound? So I don't know. I think it was just in me to always want to touch some turntables and be able to make people have a good time.
DJing I sort of fell into it. I was a huge hip hop fan. Like I am a huge hip hop fan. And for me, hip hop is more than just the music, it's the culture, that lifestyle. And hip hop is a huge part of my identity. So, you know, did a lot of theater in high school. And in that time, I learned, you know, performing arts, how to, you know, just perform in front of a crowd. And I really loved, you know, taking people outside of anything that they're dealing with, and they're in my zone, you know, in whatever environment I put them in. And I think what happened is, you know, theater wasn't really paying, you know, but I was able to transfer what I learned in that with my love for hip hop, and DJing sort of became the solution to that. I'm able to be in a room, perform. Like I'm 33 years old now and I'm still DJ your boy. It's a persona. I never grow up. You know, I got tats full of 90s memorabilia from cartoons and stuff. Like that's sort of just part of that. It's when you sort of know what to expect. It's the brand, you know? So I think that's one of those things that I really love that's kept me into it is, you know, as music keeps, you know, evolving and changing, we find new ways to express it and, you know, push it out and give people different ways of listening to music. And I think that's a very important thing. I think there's a lot of tools and social utility you can use in that for things outside of music and anything in life. So, you know, that's what sort of keeps me in it.
Okay.